All right, what's going on, everybody? Today has just been absolutely insane. Switch OLED pre-orders went up, and just before they went up, and we'll get into that later, and whether I was a success or a failure, before they went up, Steam came out and announced the Steam Deck, which is essentially, as you can see from this picture I have pulled up here, a Switch Pro, or what we kind of expected a Switch Pro to be. It's so weird. It's so crazy. Completely out of nowhere, out of left field, unexpected. The day that Switch OLED pre-orders go up, Steam comes out with this. This is launching this December, and we're just going to do a quick run through the website. You can hang out with me for a minute. We're going to see what this Steam Deck has to offer, how it compares to the Switch a little bit, and what you're looking for in terms of price, which can be misleading. I should preface this with that. The price can be misleading at first glance, and we'll get into that later, so definitely stick around if you want more details on that, what this is going to cost you, and if it's really going to break the bank. Now, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you're new here, definitely subscribe to the channel. Posting regularly, we'll get stuff with the Switch OLED, the Steam Deck, all that. This year's gonna be crazy for handheld lovers out there like myself. So let's get right into it, okay? So this is it. This is what you're looking at is the Steam Deck, right? We've got the it looks like a variation of like the Steam OS on the kind of face of the console here. I imagine it's going to run some version of that. And the first thing that I see and notice that I really don't like is the positioning of the buttons. This is like the big thing for me. I really hate, absolutely hate the way that joysticks and buttons and D-pad are all placed. Like the B button looks like it's falling off the edge of the console, and the joysticks are placed far too close to the face buttons and the D-pad. I don't typically use the D-pad in most modern games, not a huge deal, but I mean, if this is going to be a Steam game, console or a gaming PC equivalent, there's plenty of games I'm going to use the D-pad for. The D-pad doesn't look all that great, and the joystick, like slipping your finger off the joystick and accidentally hitting that X button right there, seems like it is a very easy possibility. But it looks like from a Q&A that they had with IGN that you can basically connect any Bluetooth anything to this thing. It's going to have a dock that launches around the launch of the console. They didn't say exactly when, but you can plug this in to a PC. They also said in true PC fashion that anything that works with the output for this console off the shelf will work on a monitor. So like if you want to go buy a like PC docking station, you can connect this to that and still use it on your monitor. It's not proprietary tech. You don't have to buy a Steam docking station for this. So yeah, keep that in mind. Very cool. I think the number one theme here with the Steam Deck, and the thing that I love about it the most, is its flexibility and lack of proprietary tech. Okay. And it's just got a whole onslaught of buttons. I mean, we've got 4 back buttons there. We've got 2 trackpads on the face. We've got 2 joysticks, the typical face buttons and D-pad. I mean, and the R1, R2, L1, L2 buttons. There's just so many buttons. All right. So I'm sure there's just so much you can do here. And they did say also in that Q&A that anything that you can do on a PC, you can do on this. This is essentially just a handheld PC. It's crazy to me. So let's dive deep into what the website has here for us to offer. An all-in-one portable PC, right? Steam Deck brings the Steam games and features you love to a powerful and convenient form factor that you can take wherever you go. And then they got a nice little video of someone playing Jedi Fallen Order, which is cool. You know, it looks good. It's definitely interesting. I still really don't like the positioning of the buttons. I really hate that, but we'll see once I get my hands on it, just how bad or good it is, right? Hardware designed to put real games in real hands. Powerful. Steam Deck runs the latest AAA games and runs them very well. Comfortable, full fidelity controls, long play sessions, no compromises, versatile. You can connect to peripherals, throw the picture onto a big screen, and do all the other PC things you would expect. Moving on to the games, it looks like your Steam library is already on your deck. All right, so Steam library fully accessible on the Steam Deck. Just power it on and log in. Your games are there for you to download. Bam. Easy as power on, sign in, play your Steam games. That's cool. You know, looks like they're using that trackpad here in Disco Elysium. I do like that. If you like the mouse click controls, this is definitely cool. This is definitely going to work for you. I just don't know that 2 trackpads on the front of the device that are that large and take up that much real estate was necessary, but we'll see. We'll see. I haven't got my hands on this yet. Maybe I use the trackpad constantly and I barely ever use the joysticks. Who knows, right? We'll definitely see. Steam without compromises. All of the features you know and love, designed with care to fit in your hands. 3 storage options. Now this, baby, this is where we get into the misleading, break your bank, all that. Okay? Everyone at face value, first glance, they're like, only $400 for the Steam Deck? Are you kidding me? That's only $50 more than the Switch OLED. What is Nintendo going to do? The Steam Deck is just going to put it, you might as well just throw all the Switch OLEDs in the trash. $400 gets you 64 gigs of eMMC internal storage and a carrying case. First of all, you don't want this, okay? We're talking about PC games. A lot of them are going to, you know, be significantly more than 64 gigs in storage space. In terms of hardware, which tech specs and stuff, we'll get into that later, but it's in comparison to a PS4, Xbox One in terms of power, right? So think of this as a portable previous gen console. 64 gigs is not going to cut it. Also, if you're a privy to PC gaming in any way, shape, or form, you really want this NVMe SSD storage, right? So if you're going to get the Steam Deck, sure, you could spend $400 on it, but you're getting a far inferior version from these, okay? $529 seems like the true entry point, the true base model, in my opinion. This is the bare minimum. You really shouldn't go under 256 gigs of storage, especially if you plan on using this thing beyond just a couple handheld games in your pocket. It does have the, I will add, it does have the ability to add SD card storage. So you're not stuck forever with 64 gigs. You can use an SD card. Okay. But if you're going to use this thing, as you're going to dock it and kind of use it as like a portable PC, which I think that's the biggest benefit that the Steam Deck has over any other handheld ever made, you're really going to want to look at this $529 256 gig version. This gives you an NVMe SSD internal storage, much faster storage, carrying case, an exclusive Steam community profile bundle, and then the $650 version, which if you don't have a gaming PC and you want to get this as your primary gaming PC with that you can dock and take it with you and just use it as like a Windows machine, this is probably the version you want to go with. And honestly, if you compare it to, like, if you're going to use it as a laptop and you compare it to other Windows laptops in price, this works, right? 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD internal storage. It has the fastest storage, which insinuates that it's faster than the $529 version. And you get a premium anti-glare etched glass screen. I like this. If you're going to be in handheld mode a lot, this is a big deal. The anti-glare etched glass is far higher quality than what I suppose is probably in these, which is some sort of like plastic. And then you get all the other stuff and an exclusive virtual keyboard theme, which not really sure what that is exactly. But anyway, the most important thing here, fastest storage, 512, and then the glass screen, right? You get the highest quality one. It comes with a carrying case. You can dock it. You can use it as a PC. Very cool. I like all that. I think the biggest thing that the Steam Deck has going for it is absolutely the fact that you can use it as a portable PC, a laptop. You do everything you could do on a PC on this handheld device. But if you love gaming, this also can be used primarily as a video game, video gaming handheld machine. Speeds and feeds, take a look at the inputs, internals, and other details that make up the Steam Deck. Yeah, let's take a look at the tech specs. So it's laid out the buttons. You got the 2 trackpads. I don't know. I don't like how much space the trackpads take up, and the fact that there's 2 of them, I feel like that's unnecessary. You've got speakers, quick access, and Steam buttons, and then the things we went over earlier. It's a 7-inch touchscreen. Going over here, we got a USB Type-C port, headphone jack, fans, volume, power button. Micro SD card slot that I was mentioning earlier, the 4 back buttons, speeds and feeds. This is the stuff that I think sets it apart from basically anything else on the market. AMD APU, CPUs into 2.4 to 3.5 gigahertz up to 448. Okay. So that's really good. 1.6 teraflops. Again, that's on par. I think the PS4, if I'm not mistaken, was about 1.8, maybe 2 teraflops in GPU. So I do think that, yeah, this is pretty close to what you would get with a PS4, Xbox One in terms of power. And in a handheld device, that's crazy to me. And then the storage, it's got 16 gigs of RAM, also completely crazy to me. I think this has a little bit to do with, like, this thing can be used as a PC as well. It's a gaming PC that you can take as a handheld. 16 gigs is future-proofing a little bit. That's a lot of RAM, especially for a handheld device. The resolution, it looks like it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, which 1280 by 800 pixels roughly adds up to a 720p screen. So same as the Switch. They're using an LCD screen, so no OLED. So it's not, you're not going to get the OLED tech. And the only reason I mention that is because we're on Switch OLED day. Pre-orders went live today, and a lot of people are comparing these two side by side, right? To me, these are completely different products. I don't think they should be compared in any way, shape, or form. I think if you're going to buy the Steam Deck and you spend $400 on the Steam Deck and buy that base version, you will deeply regret it. But at 720p, 1280 by 800 pixels, 16 by 10 aspect ratio, it's still going to look good. At 7 inches, 720p looks good on a handheld screen. 400 nits, that's okay in terms of brightness, 60 hertz. It does have an ambient light sensor. It does have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which is good. Bluetooth 5.0 support. That's great. Yeah, I mean, this is everything that I would look for in the Steam Deck. Honestly, I really would. Everything. I think this is a huge, great surprise, and I'm really glad that it exists. I really want to get more hands-on impressions of it. IGN did a hands-on impression of it, but it didn't show me a lot, and it didn't give me a lot of impressions of how this thing feels and operates. And I would really love to see how it works in terms of like the docked mode playing on a PC. How hot does this thing get when playing certain video games? I mean, I've won in Persona 4 Golden on a handheld console since the Vita, and that now I can play it on this. You know what I mean? But you could also play anything on it, your entire Steam library, if you will, which is crazy to me. I have so many Steam games, and I particularly love handheld gaming. I love playing my Switch in handheld, which is the reason why I pre-ordered a Switch OLED. And yeah, I said at the beginning of the video that I would get into my successes or failures. I managed to successfully grab the Nintendo Switch OLED white model. I was nervous because the neon model was up in front of me. I could have clicked the pre-order button, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna make sure I can get that white OLED model. And I managed to get it from Best Buy. Props to Best Buy for taking precautions and trying to fight the bots out there. They have a new system in place after the PS5 and Xbox Series X debacle, where you hit the pre-order button and then you wait in a little bit of a queue, and then it comes yellow again, you hit it again, and then they have you verify your account. Then they take you through it. It was seamless. The pre-order process was not as crazy as it was for the PS5, which was literally me just hitting the button and refresh, button and refresh, button and refresh over and over again for like 20 minutes until I finally got it in the cart. So this worked seamlessly, and I managed to get my hands on a Switch OLED, which actually sold out significantly quicker than I expected it to, especially with all the backlash on the internet about it. But yeah, got my hands on the Switch OLED, super excited about it. Definitely stay tuned to the channel for some unboxing and impressions for that in October, some Metroid Dread content, you know, all the good stuff. This comes out in December. We'll definitely be taking a closer look at this over the coming months, but I really wanted to get this up and have a discussion about it. Again, if you like this video, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button. I appreciate you coming in through and hanging out with me today. Until next time, I'm out.